Right, my friends, how we doing? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm here to update you on my mission to quit social media. These are some thoughts after 90 days. 90 days of quitting social media. I always thought that I was going to bring a video to you at 60 days, but it's gone way past that. And if I was going to make one today saying what I thought at 60 days, I'd be making another one tomorrow saying what I thought at 90 days. So I'm here to discuss some thoughts and my experience through quitting social media for 90 days. Now, this is a video topic that doesn't really get a lot of views on this channel, and I don't know why. I don't know why. I feel like a hell of a lot of people out there are, it's a trending topic. It has to be, quitting social media. It's got to be, because so many people are just totally addicted to their phones and social media. Or maybe I don't know, maybe people are afraid to hear the truth. But I got myself to a point where I was literally spending 8 to 10 hours a day on my phone. And I was unemployed, and I was just feeling worse and worse about myself, because as we all know, a lot of the stuff that you see on social media is a highlight reel of that particular person's life, and if you're not feeling so good about your own life, it's not gonna be good for you. And you'll also end up like the hunchback of Notre fucking Dame, and that's how I felt. I felt like I was getting a big fucking lump on the back of my neck, because well, actually, I lay down and watched a lot of it. So I was always laying with my phone in my right hand, so my neck would always be that way, and it just wasn't good. There's just you just start feeling like a loser. I'm not saying that everyone on social media is a loser, but what I am saying is that I was spending so much time on it, and I wasn't fucking putting any effort into my own life, that I just needed to get off. I had to. Something had to give, and I'm so glad it did. So 90 days in, guys. 90 days in. And the first thing that I've written, look, I've written a few notes. I'll go through them. I can't even remember what I wrote. I wrote this at 60 days, but I assume a lot of this is the same. So the first thing I wrote was, honestly, not a huge amount has changed in my life. Well, that's what it feels like. Because, it doesn't matter what you take out of your life. It doesn't matter what addiction you're trying to beat. For the first week or two, you'd be counting the days, and each day would feel a lot different than the day before. It'd feel, whether it's getting easier or whether you're just feeling like you've got more conviction or more pride in what you're doing, you're going to feel, different. You're going to feel better each and every day. But once you get to about 30 days, it's more like just a new way of living your life, in my opinion. And that's what I've found with social media. Now that we're 90 days in, I do have a bit of a system. There are certain things that I allow myself to do on social media. I use it practically. As far as Facebook's concerned, Instagram I haven't been on once. TikTok I haven't been. I haven't downloaded it. I reckon the only reason I get back on TikTok is if I wanted to create content, which I'm not at the moment. Snapchat deleted years ago. Twitter, no. Discord, no. I've been tempted to go on Discord once because I wanted to get an update on a company that I was interested in, but I got on there and fuck, man, I'm not using Discord. There's no way. So the other one's Facebook, and look, I'll get into that. But either way, I just don't go on them. I don't have them on my phone, so I'm not tempted. And look, thinking back, man, it was so ridiculous. I had 5 or 6 different apps that I'd go through, right? And I would literally sit there on my phone. Facebook, 2 minutes scrolling out of it. Instagram, 2 minutes scrolling. YouTube, an hour. Back on Facebook. Check my emails. Back on Instagram. Back on YouTube. And then it was just constant. I could not put my fucking phone down. And I wasn't listening. Like, I just wasn't, my brain was just like mush. All that shit over and over again. It's not bad every now and then if you can discipline yourself, but I just had simply no discipline in that area at the time. So, at this point, 90 days in, I don't feel like a huge amount has changed, but during those first 2 weeks to a month, a huge amount did change. And I think I talked about it. But now, this is just my life. And I've broken the addiction fundamentally, which is good. So my scrolling and screen time is dramatically reduced. I listen to podcasts now. I really enjoy Spotify, especially in the evenings. And it's something I look forward to, honestly. When it comes time to, get ready for bed, or when I'm cooking in the kitchen, I'll put my headphone in, or one of my earbuds. I put one of my earbuds in, and I enjoy what I'm listening to. And I take it in. And I've got certain podcasts that I enjoy listening to. For anyone wondering, they are addiction-based podcasts, believe it or not. And yeah, so have I been tempted? No, not really. I'm going to read this off of the paper. No, not really. I had so much conviction behind my decision when I made it that I didn't want to feel that disgust about myself any longer. Yeah, I felt really, really strongly about that. It had just got to the point where, fuck man, I just had to stop. I was feeling like shit. It was a really bad feeling. One I probably didn't deserve to have about myself, which is true, I beat myself up a lot. But one that was never going to go away unless I made change. And that's also true. So YouTube, I've dabbled in. I only use YouTube when I'm at work. That originally started when I was doing a night shift on the phones. But I've also started to bring it in at my day job as well. When I'm busy, there's just no time. When anyone else is in the office, I don't do it. But when I'm in the office alone, and when I've got some downtime, I do watch a few videos. I'm not going to lie. And when I'm doing work on the phones at home, I do, when I've got downtime, once again, watch some videos. So that is basically the form of social media that I've allowed back in. I do find myself reverting back to old behaviors, scrolling. But I try to keep it off of my phone and just on a desktop. A desktop at work or a laptop at home. So, with that in mind, that takes away that scrolling, which it just does not feel good. It doesn't sit right with me. I don't want to be doing it anymore. So that's been removed, but I do use it. I do use YouTube. I've been enjoying having the option if I want to, is what I've written down. But it was a real novelty, because after 6 weeks of not having any YouTube, I decided to watch some. And because I'd had 6 weeks of not watching any, there was a hell of a lot of content for me to catch up on, and I really enjoyed it. But now that I've caught up on it, and now that I am watching something like most days, it's getting boring again. I've got my certain creators that I enjoy, as you probably do too, but if they're not uploading regularly, then once again, it's just scrolling, looking for something to watch. And I don't like that. I don't like the way that it makes me feel. It puts me back in that old mindset, and so I've got to watch that. But at the moment, the content I am enjoying watching is still long form content, as I always did. Gambling addiction is something I'm really into at the moment. Ultra running content, MMA and boxing, always. The odd bodybuilding video, although I'm not too fussed about it right now. And what else? My own content. I'm putting a hell of a lot of effort into my own content, this channel at the moment. So for me, addiction is always going to be an interest. Ultra running and Ironman and that type of shit is a big interest, MMA and boxing, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So I don't know whether I will go back on Instagram or Facebook. I always wanted to start fresh on Facebook. I don't need to read that one. That was something I wanted to do for a long time. I thought that, you know, it was just too crowded. I had too many friends on there that I never talked to. But I think what I really wanted from that was to start fresh, just have friends that I do talk to or I have seen in the last few years, and hope that when I went on my news feed, I'd scroll and scroll and all I'd see was my friends' updates. But what I have to be, you know, what I have to be realistic about is that it doesn't matter how many fucking friends I've got. The way that Facebook, the way that the algorithm works with your news feed right now, it's not your friends' stuff. Yes, that might come up once in a while, but it's all fucking advertisements. It's all videos, you know, video format, video content gets views, it gets clicks. What will come up on your news feed is whoever's paid for that advertisement, targeting you, who you are, where you are, what you look at. They've targeted you. It's going to come up because they're paying for it, and you can't do fuck all about it. So I had to be realistic. Doesn't matter if I'm going to, you know, start a new profile or not. I'm going to start seeing the same shit. And then I'm going to be scrolling, looking for the updates from my friends. But if they haven't updated anything, and if I've only got like 50 odd friends, then it's all going to be full of shit again. So, you know, at the end of the day, I have to be mindful of that. If I did come back to social media, I would need to have a real level of discipline about it. That's what I've written down. I don't think I'm ready. Although I did think that the reason I felt so bad about using it was because I was feeling so bad about myself. That's right. I wasn't getting anything positive from it, only negative. I didn't want to, and look, if someone else out there is feeling really happy about where they're at in life, they can look at social media and they don't feel like that. It's not going to affect them like that. And credit to them, you know, but that's not everyone, and it certainly wasn't me. I didn't want to share anything about myself, so I wasn't, you know, contributing to social media. I was only consuming, and look, it just left me feeling just super unmotivated, sad, empty, inferior, you know, loss of confidence, loss of self-esteem. That's where it led me. So I don't feel like that anymore. It's good. I've gone on Facebook briefly to look at Marketplace, and I'll say wholeheartedly that is the only reason I've ever gone on Facebook, to look at Marketplace, and then I delete it. Like, for example, at the moment, Instagram or Facebook are not on my phone, and they are only ever on my phone for a couple of minutes. Instagram's never on my phone, but Facebook, 2, 3, 5 minutes, 10 minutes tops. Look through Marketplace, see if there's anything available. And then that's it. I'm off because I've got absolutely no interest in it, and it's good. I have caught myself scrolling. You know, I've gone on Marketplace and then I've pressed back, and it goes to my news feed automatically, and I start scrolling, and it's just mindless. And after about 30 seconds, I'm like, "What the fuck am I doing? Get this shit off!" And then I'm like, "Shit." You know, that so easily happens, right? But my mindset's so strong at the moment that it takes me about 30 seconds to realize, and then I'm done with it. I've written this is almost to the end. There are down times in life where you do feel bored, and that is where scrolling social media can be a benefit. It can also be a benefit if you have a business to advertise. But there are social media agencies for that. And I think we need to learn to be okay with downtime. Be okay with being bored. And I'm not saying I've done it, but try picking up a book. I've actually got a book at home. I've read about 10 pages. I really need to get back into it. It's a story that I know I'm going to love. It's about an ultra marathon runner who ran across Australia. Sorry about that, guys. I'm going to have to finish this on the phone. The camera memory card is full. Look, try picking up a book. One thing I did want to touch on is that one of the main reasons why I always stayed on social media, especially back in like 2020, 2021, is because I did have a business, and I always, justified staying on, especially Instagram, because I had a business and I wanted to advertise, but then I wasn't advertising. And like I said, there's social media marketing agencies for that, and I would be quite happy to pay one of those to do all of my marketing for me, which would keep me off of Facebook, keep me off of Instagram. And they do that for a living. They're good at it, much better than me. I wanted to do everything myself. I wanted to do everything myself. And when you're running a business, it won't take you long to find out that is just that's not the way to do it. It's not the way to do it. So that's something I've realized, and I feel really good, really happy that I've realized that, But yeah, we do need to be okay with downtime. We need to be okay with being bored. But in saying that, social media, if you're in a good mindset, if you are achieving stuff in life, there's nothing wrong with using social media. I'm not demonizing it, but for me at the time, it just wasn't working. I would say the majority of people who consume TikTok type content regularly wouldn't even be able to sit still long enough to read the first fucking chapter. It's crazy, but it's the truth. And last but not least, those are some thoughts, not all of my thoughts, but just the ones that I'll share today. And I will be back at day 90. That's what I wrote at day 60. I added to it at around about day 75. I always thought that I'd make a day 60 and day 90 video, but we're here at day 90, feeling accomplished, feeling good. And, I urge you guys to do the same. Give it a shot. I reckon I'm almost feeling good enough about myself to get back on there and not feel as defeated as I did. But what I have to sacrifice by doing that is time, and I'm not willing to sacrifice that. I use my time for other things. But it would be nice to catch up with some, what some friends are doing, friends and family. It would be nice to share what I'm doing at times. And so that will be the reason that I get back on, is because I want to share, and I want to see what people are doing. But like I said before, you've got to have some discipline about it.